Hey guys, I'm here with Wanda Hileman today from the Painters Clubhouse. Did I say your name right, Wanda?
Yes, you did.
Wanda has been a member of our community since at least 2022, as far back as we could figure out. And she's a member of the Painters Clubhouse. So I've watched her skills sort of develop over the last 2 or 3 years. And she has really gotten so good at like shading and adding little details to her door hangers and stuff. So Wanda, will you give us a little bit of a background knowledge of how you got started with all of this? Did you paint before you joined the clubhouse?
Yes, I did. I did watercolor paintings,
Okay.
and I took a couple classes. Oh my gosh, probably about 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I loved doing it, but then I gotten out of it and started doing acrylic paintings. And then I found you, and you just helped me develop so many different techniques, and
Yeah.
just watching you, and you've helped me with my jittering hands and making the straight lines, and now I'm able to use just a fine line paintbrush,
Uh-huh.
and able to do it without the paint marker.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been painting for, oh my gosh, long time. I used to draw
Mm-hmm.
too, and so I've always been a painter and a
Yeah.
sewer, and
You're one of those all around artsy craftsy people who will
yes,
try just about any craft at one time.
yes, yep, yep. I've done the resin art with
Uh-huh.
Cindy,
Uh-huh.
and I forget, but mainly it's just once I found you, I was able to, expand my horizon on painting and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
just love doing the door hangers and
Yeah.
everything. So,
How do you feel like door hangers are different from other kinds of crafts?
um, for me, at least in my area, I don't see too many of them, around. Um,
You're in
but I
Ohio,
love,
right?
huh?
Ohio, is that where you live?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Um, I've painted so many door hangers, and would love to sell them. I've even put them out there on my Facebook page, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's taught me a lot for doing other paintings.
Uh-huh.
I've learned a lot from doing the door hangers compared to regular acrylic painting on canvases and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned a lot and brought the techniques over to that.
Yeah, I've always felt like door hangers were a little bit more beginner friendly,
Yes.
approachable.
Yeah.
It's less pressure than like painting something on a canvas that you feel like,
Yes.
oh, this feels like it has to be a work of art. Door
Yeah.
hanger feels more like a craft that is low
Right.
pressure.
Right. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You
Mhm.
can, let it dry or whatever, take the wet wipe and wipe it right off. Whereas on a canvas or whatever, you kind of feel, oh, I got to do this right the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Have you started? You said you had tried selling some of your door hangers. Have you taught any paint parties?
Not yet. I've been kind of afraid that if I put it out there, no one will come.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest then starting with a group of people that will come, like
Yeah.
close friends or family members that kind of, just want like a girls' night or something, like
Yeah.
just a fun little afternoon crafting, and start with somebody like that and then expand from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get that a try. You know.
What do you feel like you enjoy the most about the Painters Clubhouse?
The people, they
Mm-hmm.
make you feel at home, and they're always there to help you if you have a question. You put something out there, and they're, it's just a great relationship. You know.
Have you made any friendships through the group that have like impacted your life beyond painting?
Yeah. Me and Linda Hausler,
Mm-hmm.
we both hike, and so we've become friends on Facebook, and talk about hiking, and and she's maybe 3 hours away from me, so That's not bad. I'd love to meet her in person and maybe go for a hike with her and talk
Yeah.
about, painting and stuff like that too. But
You're
and then
both,
a lot of other people too I've met and become friends with.
yeah. And she's from New York. And so you guys probably have a few of the same struggles when it comes to trying to sell your pieces and things like that. Because for those that don't know, door hangers are very popular down here in the South. Everybody
Yes.
wants to hang a door hanger on their door. But up north, it's still a little bit of a new thing. It hasn't
Yeah.
quite caught on yet.
Yeah. I don't know why. I see a lot of wreaths on doors
Mm-hmm.
because when I'm out driving around, with my husband, I'll look at the doors to see if there's door hangers. And when I do, I get excited. I'm like, oh, they got a door hanger.
I literally slammed on the brakes in my car the other day because I was passing a house, and as I was passing, it was in my town. I passed a door hanger that was a Lola, the cow door hanger. I was like, "Oh, that's Lola!"
Oh my
Like I know her.
That's cool. No, I have mine, hanging up on the front door, and I keep hoping people drive by, they'll see it and like, oh, where'd you get that?
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll catch on, but between you and Linda's efforts, that they'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
that's what I'm hoping.
What would you say is your favorite door hanger that you've painted? What, like, I know that's like trying to pick your favorite child, but like maybe in the last 6 months, what's one of the highlight of something that you've painted?
I like the covered bridge one that we did.
Yes.
I really love that and the techniques that you showed, with that. So
That
I
one
was
was very
looking.
similar to, say, like a canvas painting, but it was
Yeah.
done on a round door hanger instead of a
Yes.
canvas. So I can see
Yeah.
why that one would appeal to you for sure.
Yeah. And I love, the Lola, the Highland cows, because I love the Highland cows too. So, I can't wait
Yes.
to bring mine back out.
Yes, we're going to be painting another Lola in our spring
Yes.
workshop, so I'm sure it'll regain popularity all of a
Oh,
sudden.
yeah. Yeah. I know. I can't wait.
What would you say is your go-to painting style? Do you have a particular style or something that you always do on your door hangers?
I don't know if shading.
That's probably what I would say when I think of you, because and I remember you did lettering on one of your door hangers a while back, and you added like a drop shadow.
Yeah.
And it was so subtle that I thought you had glued 3D letters to this door hanger. I was like, I didn't offer that with 3D letters. How did she do that? And I thought you had cut them out with a scroll saw or something. You're like, no, that is a drop shadow that's made to look 3D. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the drop shadow, which I learned from you how to do it. So now that's fun, and I love doing the shadow. It just makes me happy doing shading just to blend the colors in and make the picture pop.
Yes, you're very good at that. A lot of your stuff looks very dimensional. It looks like it's 3D, even though it's not. So
thank you.
It definitely
Did you
makes
see
your
my
stuff
flag?
stand out.
Huh? What's that?
I said it definitely causes your stuff to stand out.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you've seen my flag I had posted that I painted, the folded flag.
Yes, I did. That one was gorgeous.
Thanks. Yeah, everybody thought it was real, like a real flag. And I'm like, no, it's just by shadows that I learned from Tamara how to do.
How does that make you feel when you read comments like that from people in the Painters Clubhouse, like getting excited about something that you've painted?
It makes me happy that, someone sees it. And I had one person ask me if I would do a tutorial on how to do it, but I don't know sure how I would do that,
Yeah. It's probably very involved, it's not necessarily beginner friendly or something you can teach in just a 20-minute class, it's probably much more involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while to cut it out because I had to do all these measurements and all this stuff, and then just draw the line to where the fold should be and the flag. And but I was afraid at first to paint it, but then once I did one, And then a friend ordered another one from me, so I just got that done.
Yeah. I want to switch gears here for a little bit. What is your painting setup like? A lot of people have to start out at a kitchen table or a dining room table, and they joke about how that kind of becomes the craft space. And then,
Yes.
oh, we got to turn it into the dining table again because it's time for Thanksgiving dinner. So I got to clean this
Yes.
off. What is your setup like?
Mine is that way with the dining room table.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're just like everybody else. We're all trying to figure out where we can do this at. I
Yeah.
started at my dining room table too.
Yeah. I have a craft room upstairs from when my daughter moved out, but that's where I have all my paints and all that stuff. So I have to go upstairs to get them and then come back down and take a list of what I want so I don't forget, but yeah, the table is covered. And then when we have company or anything, it's like, oh, I got to clean it all off.
But having a place to like sit down and paint it doesn't matter where it is, just so long as you do make a place to sit down and paint, because I feel like painting really does help me relax and, alleviate stress at the end of the day. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah. Totally. Yeah. I get in my own little world when I'm painting, and it just relaxes me.
Yeah. Do you work, or are you retired?
I'm retired. I was working 2 years ago and then had to retire. So,
yeah.
But that was my relief when I was working, was painting, and would release some of my stress from work and everything. And so then after I retired, I just continued it on, mainly in the wintertime. And then when it starts getting nice out, I like to be outside.
Yeah.
Working in my flowers and my garden and, with our koi pond and hiking and stuff like that.
Yeah. I bet it really helps with like seasonal depression in the wintertime when there's not much sun and you're shut inside.
Yes, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see. What other questions was I going to ask? Do you ever paint with your family and friends? I know you said that you had a daughter. Does she ever paint with you?
No, she hasn't. My granddaughter has, though. Oh. Every time she comes over, it's like, Grandma, what are we crafting today?
Oh, I love that. She's connected you with crafting time. Yeah. That's special.
Yeah, she loves to paint. So
what kind of projects have you done together?
We made some Easter eggs, like with cartons, and painted the wooden eggs, and she's painted them and put little feathers on them so they look like little chickens. And so
how old is she?
She's 5.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I've started her out early, when she was real little, painting and doing crafts. So now every time she comes over, what are we crafting today?
Yeah. I'm thinking about those people who maybe didn't grow up with a crafty grandma, and they probably didn't really start out figuring out how to craft and do things. You are giving her a huge advantage by teaching her this stuff early. Yes. And so she's going to feel so confident anytime she wants to start up doing any kind of project in the future, because she's had this like basic knowledge that she started with really early. She's not going to have that like mental block of, I don't think I can do it,
Right. Yeah. I think she'll be like Charlie, because she loves to get involved and help out with things and doing the paintings and, tell her not too much paint. I know, Grandma.
I grew up with a great grandmother who painted and a mother who painted and did. My mom didn't paint a lot, but we did do several projects together when I was a kid. They were like the Christmas sweaters that you would iron the appliques on and do the puff paint. And so I feel like a lot of those little projects that we did together helped foster that in me early on. And so I never really had that fear to try something.
Yeah. I started out with sewing, which my grandmother had done. So she got me started in that. And then, so before I started painting, I was doing a lot of sewing and crocheting and making stuffed animals and stuff like that. So
I did sewing too, but I kind of put that away after I had Charlie. I did it a lot. It was kind of my nesting phase.
Oh,
When I was
yeah.
pregnant with her, I sewed a lot of stuff for her. I did
Yeah.
I did all of her baby bedding. I
Oh,
did and I was trying to save money too because I had the old car seat from her brother and the old
oh,
high chair from her brothers, but they
yep.
were like old and dingy. So I took the covers off and used that as a template and made
Oh,
new covers for the high chair and the car seat that were super girly.
oh, neat.
Um, and it was kind of one of those labor of love projects that
Yeah.
when somebody says, would you do that for my high chair? No, 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 no. I
Yeah.
never want to do this again. But I did it because I was excited about my baby being,
Right.
going to sit in it. But
Right.
yeah, I could sew something now if I needed to, but it's definitely not it's not a skill that I've continued to develop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've made wedding gowns and
Wow.
older, the prom dresses or the
Mhm.
bridesmaid dresses, and took a size 30 like wedding gown to a size 8,
That's amazing.
Yeah, because they couldn't, it came in the wrong side in the size, and the store wouldn't take it back. So then they asked me, hey, can you fix this? And I'm like, yeah, I can try. And
You're like the fairy godmother from Cinderella, waving your
yeah,
wand over there and making dreams come true.
yeah, yeah, I'd love to sew, but um, I kind of put that in the back burner with painting and stuff. I've,
Yeah.
gotten really into love doing that and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's good to know that's in your back pocket if somebody comes up with another wedding dress they need fixed or
Yes.
something else.
Oh, yes.
Well, what would you say to somebody who's maybe thinking about joining the clubhouse, maybe thinking about painting their first door hanger, but they're not sure that they're going to be good enough to start?
I would probably say don't be afraid. You can always fix it. It's just paint. You can, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about it. Don't put too much on it, because you're the worst critic of your own paintings. I've
Absolutely.
done that myself too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, just start it, have fun with it, and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you'll enjoy the Painters Clubhouse too. There's so many people here to help and guide you along, and it's just a fun thing. Oh,
I think I clicked something. What did I click?
oh.
I didn't even realize I clicked that. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking about how when people are thinking about trying something like this and they're doing it on their own, they're struggling throughout the entire process, trying to figure out what kind of brushes should I use, what kind of paint should I buy, and it's not easy for them.
Right.
But with the Painters Clubhouse and us having supply lists and templates and all these
Yes.
things readily accessible, you're not going to have to struggle through that part of the process.
Right. Right. You can always ask, hey, what brush should I use on this?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of paint? What's your favorite kind of paint? What's your favorite kind of brush? And just, have fun and trust the process.
Yeah. If you're not having fun throughout the process, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're struggling way too, and it's unnecessary. You don't have to
Right.
struggle through it. You
Right.
can just relax and enjoy it.
Right.
Do you have any painting goals or things that you want to try next?
Not that I can think of. I want to.
You don't know until it comes across your mind, do you?
Yeah.
Like, you'll see something and then you challenge yourself, I guess
Yes.
is what I'm trying to
That's
say.
what I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. I'll see something and I'll challenge myself. Okay. I know I can do it, so I'm going to try it.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know what that next challenge is going to be until it's presented to you. Like somebody saying, hey, I've got this size 30 wedding dress.
Yes.
Can you make it a size 8? And you were probably a
Exactly.
little nervous saying yes to that.
Right.
Because
Right.
that's a big deal,
It is. Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm thinking back to when I started painting and somebody would say, can you do a Spider-Man door hanger for me or something really like that felt technical, And I thought, well, because if I mess this up, he's not going to look like Spider-Man. He's going to look like weird, But figuring it out and going through that process helped me become a better painter. And it probably helped you become a better sewist. I don't know what the right sewer.
Yeah.
Doing projects like that kind of get you out of your comfort zone.
Right. Right. Yeah. Because I had a person come to me, and his girlfriend liked the Nightmare Before Christmas
Mm-hmm.
and wanted a door hanger painted like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd never done anything like that. So that was a challenge for me. And I was afraid they wouldn't like it, you know. But
Yeah.
it turned out really good and they loved it. So
Yeah. I
that
think
made
I've
me,
only ever painted one door hanger before that I know the customer didn't like it.
oh,
And you know what? The world didn't end.
right.
I'm still painting. It's okay. And it was a picture. She gave me a picture of her pit bull dog.
Oh,
And I went a little too realistic and didn't go enough whimsical, cute. And I learned
oh,
from that process. I learned
oh,
something from it. I learned I don't ever want to paint anybody's custom dog portrait again. That's not my gifting.
yes.
It
Yeah.
didn't bring me joy.
Yeah, I do want to try painting horses like that.
Mm-hmm.
I forget her name. That
Dina Klingerman in the Clubhouse paints horses.
yes,
Yes.
yes, I do want to try that. That
I
is
think if I did it again, I would go through a completely different process for it. But this was ages ago, before I even started the Painters Clubhouse. And
uh,
I swore off painting people's dogs back then because I just decided it's not worth it for me to be upset if somebody's disappointed.
right,
But I leaned into painting flowers and things that are open to a little more interpretation.
right, right. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on here today with me, Wanda. I've so enjoyed getting to chat with you a bit. Do you have any final words for anybody who might be sitting on the fence thinking they're not sure if they're ready to dive into something like this yet?
I would probably just say, like before, you know, try it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun, it's relaxing, and don't, be hard on yourself.
Right.
Give it a try. You might find that it's really fun and relaxing, and can help relieve any stress you may have.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for being with us, Wanda.
You're welcome. Thank you.